Hello everyone, how's it going? Billy Ballgame here, back with another video. On this channel, I'm just a dude who loves to talk about baseball cards. And in today's video, I wanted to continue my kind of series, I guess, that I've done periodically on my channel, collecting on a budget. And today what I wanted to focus on is kind of those cards after the rookie card, but still early in a player's career. So today I wanted to focus mostly on like second, third, and fourth year cards. You guys know I love rookie cards, and that's currently, other than the 60 top set, what I'm mostly focusing on in my collection. But as we all know, rookie cards can come with a heavy price in some cases, depending on the player. And this video is kind of going to pay homage a little bit to my buddy John from 3D 80s Kid, even though he did a video here recently where he showed some rookie cards. But John, for quite a while in his collecting journey, chooses not to focus on rookie cards because, one, they're pretty expensive for the most part, and he wants to focus on the cards that he really enjoys, the cards that he likes to purchase, that have good eye appeal, they're good looking cards, or whatever the case may be. And then that way he doesn't necessarily feel pressured, so to speak, to own rookie cards. And I don't mean to put words in John's mouth, so if John disagrees with the statement I just made, feel free to let me know. But that's kind of the gist, is that he doesn't necessarily want to pay the rookie tax, and I can't say I blame him. And their rookie card is not always their best looking card, and in a lot of cases, again, that is true. For me, that's what I prefer to focus on in my collection, because to me, in a lot of cases, they are their best cards sometimes. And again, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but I've always focused on rookie cards in my collection. So I just kind of wanted to show some other cards, and I don't necessarily have a lot of second, third, and fourth year cards in my collection at this point, because again, I haven't been focused on vintage for very long. And so my vintage collection, well, my collection period of graded cards is pretty small. Like, I have 188 graded cards in my collection right now. So I don't have a lot of second, third, and fourth year cards of players. But I wanted to focus on that today and show you some of the cards that you can get for a huge discount compared to their rookie card, especially when you're talking about players that can be pretty pricey, like Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, Mickey Mantle. Of course, a second, third, and fourth year Mickey Mantle are still going to be pretty expensive, but they're going to be a lot cheaper than his rookie card. But I'm not only going to focus on those types of players. They're not all just going to be the hobby superstars. I'm also going to focus on guys like, I don't know, maybe Lou Brock, maybe Carl Yastrzemski, different guys like that. Roberto Clemente might not be another one, or might be another one, and he is a hobby superstar. But there's a big drop off in a lot of these players' cards. So maybe a player's rookie card is $300 or $400. Maybe his second year card, depending on the grade, maybe his second year card is half that. And then usually, unless there's something odd about that set, usually the prices come down from there. So I just kind of wanted to dig into that a little bit further today. But first, what I wanted to do is rip some packs that I picked up from the antique store that you may have seen in my last video. Again, I bought 4 boxes. I'll go through them really quick because I know ripping packs can take a while, and not all of you want to sit there and watch me rip a pack of 1990 Score, and I understand that. So if you don't want to watch that, feel free to skip past that part then what I'll do is I'll switch the setup around to where I can use my screen on my computer and show you some VCP prices comparing rookie cards to second, third, and fourth year cards for certain players. But before I get into it, my buddy Steven with a PH, aka RipFan8, posted a video today, and I commented on it, or maybe he commented on my video, I don't remember, but he said he would have liked to have seen me pull a King Griffey Jr. out of my Donruss box. And I told him I did, because pretty much every day I've been ripping a pack of each one of those every day. So today's Friday as I'm filming this video. I think it was Wednesday I pulled a King Griffey Jr. out of the 1989 Donruss box. And this one's a pretty sharp card. It's well centered. It's got some tiny touches, I think, on maybe this corner and this corner. So I don't think this is a 10 candidate by any means, but I think it could get a 9. And so I'll send this in for grading with SGC at some point. And then if it does grade a 9, because I think it is centered better than the PSA 9 that I have up here, I may move that PSA 9, add the SGC 9 into my collection. So hang on just a second. I'll flip this around as the family's coming in. I'll rip these packs real quick, and then I'll dig into second, third, and fourth year cards of some of the all-time great Hall of Fame players. So hang on, I'll be right back with you. All right, I'm back. I'm gonna rip some packs. I'll get through this quick, like I said, in case you don't want to watch me rip junk wax packs. So far the Upper Deck hockey box has been pretty good. I pulled a Yager and a Roenick out of one pack, so no complaints about this one so far. So here's Ray Bourque, Jason Hester, Star Herder. He didn't really do much. Rick Tocchet was a good player for a while. Steve Tuttle from the Blues. Dave McElwain. Igor Larionov. That was his rookie card. He was a decent player for a while. Paul Fenton. Brian Bellows. Paul McDermott. Mark Ricci. This was a big card back in the day. Tom Fergus, and then Mark Recchi. There's another Hall of Fame rookie card right there. So pretty decent pack on that one. Let me move these over into the Hall of Famers and good rookies stack. Throw these in with the commons real quick. All right, so next I'll do the 1990 Bowman. So far the 1990 Bowman box hasn't been very good. I think probably the best card I've pulled out of it is like a couple random Hall of Famers and like a Todd Zeile rookie card, which I think I pulled in the very first pack when I did my last video. So we'll see what this one has in store. Checklist: Milt Thompson, Jason Grimsley, Jeff Ballard, Rick Aguilera, Joe Skalski, Roberto Kelly. His rookies were in '88, and he was kind of hyped up there for a while. Tom Gordon, Jose Cano, Melito Perez, Brett Butler, Jim Deshaies, Doug Drabeck, and Eric Davis. So at least Eric Davis is a star, but not much has come out of this 90 Bowman box yet. I'm hoping for at least one Frank Thomas rookie card, but we'll see. I got a Rob Nen the other day. Not that he's a huge name, but he at least was a good player and had a productive major league career. And I guess that's his rookie card, 1990. So let's see what comes out of the score so far. I haven't pulled much out of the score packs yet either. It's always a challenge to rip these without just tearing up one of the corners and get rid of this trivia piece. Frank Tanana, Juan Berenger, Chili Davis, Carlos Martinez, Steve Hosey, Rick Sutcliffe, Dennis Cook, Jeff Weatherby, Mike Aldretti, Alvin Davis, Darryl Strawberry, at least he's a star. Kirby Puckett's a Hall of Famer. Mark McGwire, another star. Chuck Finley, good pitcher for a while. Ken Daly, and Jack Dougherty. All right, so that's it for the 90 score. I'll sort those later. And then we'll get into the 89 Donruss. It's highly doubtful that I could pull 2 Ken Griffey Jr. rookie cards back to back. But we'll see. I have pulled a Gary Sheffield, Randy Johnson, Greg Jeffries, even though it has rated rookie on it. It's not his rookie card. His rookie cards were 88, and those were huge cards back then. So let's see what comes out of this one. Got a little wax stickage going on. All right, so puzzle piece, Rafael Santana, Randy Reddy, Nelson Santavina, Danny Heap, Tim Cruz, Wallace Johnson, Gary Templeton, Joel Skinner, Jesse Barfield, Jeff Russell, Cameron Drew. Every time I see this color combination, or this color combination, like I start to get excited because that's the color of Ken Griffey Jr.'s border. Keith Moreland, Henry Cotto, Sandy Alomar Jr., and Ron Gant. So a couple decent cards there at the end. Ron Gant would have been a star at this point in time in his career. So that is it for the junk wax rip today. So I'll go ahead and cut this, and then I'll get the computer set up, and I'll start talking about second, third, and fourth year players of Hall of Fame, or cards of Hall of Famers. So hang on a second. I'll be right back with you. All right, I'm back. So this is take 2. I started the first time, and then I was just recording myself when I was trying to share my screen and do VCP, because evidently I forgot to click a button. So what I want to start with is show you some of the second, third, and fourth year cards that I have in my collection right now. And then whenever I switch back to VCP, I'll pull those same cards up, and then we'll compare them to their rookie card. Let me move this camera down a little bit. I think that's better. So first, what I want to show you is the 60 Topps Brooks Robinson. Now, as we all know, this is his rookie card was in 57. So this would be a fourth year card of Brooks Robinson. And his 57 Topps rookie is an amazing card. Like, I love it. I can't wait to add it to my collection, but it's going to take me a while before I can get there. And it's a fairly expensive card. So in a 5 or 6, I think it's about $800 to $1,000. But you can get his fourth year card in a 6 for less than $100. So again, I'll pull up VCP and we'll compare the two. I'll show you what his second and third year card is valued at, and we'll compare that to his rookie card. So again, fourth year card for Brooks Robinson. Then the next one I'm going to show you is a 62 Topps Carl Yastrzemski. This is another card that I love so much. I'm so happy to have this in my collection. I just think it's a great card. Really the first vintage card I bought once I moved back to Missouri, and really this is kind of what led me to focus more on vintage in my collection. So I bought this ungraded, sent it in, it got a 7. That's the only reason why I have this card in a 7. Like, normally I would be looking in the 5 or 6 range for this card. So that's what we'll compare it to in VCP with his rookie card. So again, third year card for Yastrzemski, and then second year card for Hoot, aka Bob Gibson. And this is an amazing card. I love it again. I bought this off of Chris, my buddy Chris from Missouri, ungraded, and sent it in, and it got a 7.5. And this is probably, even though not the most valuable card in my collection, it's definitely one of my favorite cards in my collection. And again, the only reason why this is a 7.5 is because I bought it ungraded, sent it in to get graded. Again, this is a card that I would normally look in the 5 or 6 range to buy if I were going to buy it already graded. So Again, we'll compare this to his rookie card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure this time I share my screen. And hopefully, again, this works. And I'm going to go into VCP and share that. So again, hopefully this is working. Okay, so let's start with Brooks Robinson. So like I just said, his rookie card is 57 tops, and it's a beautiful card. So let's pull that up and compare it to his second, third, and in this case, his fourth year cards. So again, not a cheap card. There it is. Let me, in case you don't remember what it looks like, there it is. Great looking card. And there are, let's see, it looks like there are 2,854 of these graded with PSA, 690 graded with SGC. So not a tremendously popular card. It hasn't been, or not popular, but it just hasn't been graded, a whole lot. But so you can see in a 6 here, it's $866 in PSA. And then an SGC 5 is 618. Wrong button. Sorry. Let me go back over here. Click off of that. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. Having some computer issues. But again, I'm trying to use StreamYard more often, so eventually I can start doing my own collaborations on my channel. So you can look here, and we'll compare PSA to SGC. A PSA 6 is 866. An SGC 6 is 816. PSA 5 is 618. Did I say 618 for this? An SGC 6 is 816. Sorry, I'm having a hard time talking. A PSA 5 is 618. An SGC 5 is 670. So, his not the most expensive rookie card from the 50s, but if you're on a budget, 800, 500, 600, that's quite a bit of money to fork out for a card, in my opinion. So let's look and see what a 58 tops goes for. This one is definitely not the best image of Brooks Robinson I've ever seen, kind of similar to the 71 tops Ernie Banks. But here we can see a PSA 6 is 184. A PSA 5 is 122. An SGC 6 is 150. And an SGC 5 is $109. So we're looking at what, roughly a fifth? So roughly 20% of the cost of his rookie card for a 58 tops. Now, his 59 tops, in my opinion, is a much better looking card. But again, we have a 6, PSA 6 for $72, a PSA 5 for $55, an SGC 6 for $72, a PSA 5 for $50, or an SGC 5 for $50. So again, just a tremendous drop off even from his second year to his third year. They're about half, roughly, or close to it. And then we'll look at his 60 tops. So that's the one I showed you guys on the intro. Here we have a PSA 6 at $80, a PSA 5 at $55, an SGC 6 at $71, and an SGC 5 at $47. So his rookie card, again, is pretty pricey, but his second, third, and fourth year cards are very affordable. So if you want a nice Brooks Robinson, look for 5s and 6s for his, second, third, or fourth year cards. Or you can go down lower if 80 or $100 for a 5 or a 6 is going to push your budget. Look at a 4, look at a 3, and they'll be even cheaper. So second, we have Carl Yastrzemski, 1960 Topps. Yastrzemski. And I have this for the 60 set. And again, it's a great looking card. I'm a huge fan. In a PSA 6, it's $335. In a PSA 5, it's $232. And again, this is VCP average price. That's what I usually use to come up with all my comps. And that at least gets me in the ballpark. An SGC 6 is $380, which is more actually than PSA 6. And an SGC 5 is $215. I have mine in an SGC 5.5, and it's $275. So again, a lot cheaper than the Brooks, but still not a cheap card. So let's look at his 61 Topps, which still has him as a rookie, even though it's his second year card. Topps did a lot of that back in the day. And this is another great card. Same photo, just cropped differently. So it says 61 rookie there. And again, it's a great card. So PSA 6, 132, PSA 5, 190 or 98, SGC 6, 137, and an SGC 5 is $83. So what, a little more than half or a little less than half the price of his rookie card. So a tremendous drop in value from his first year to his second year. And then we'll look at his 62 Topps, which is another card that I love. Like, since I've gotten more into vintage, like I've grown a whole new appreciation for Carl Yastrzemski, and he's, I don't know, probably in the top 10 or so of my favorite players of all time. I'm just a huge fan. So his 62 Topps in a 6 is 147. In a 5, and this is PSA, it is 72. An SGC a 6 is $88. So a tremendous drop off between PSA and SGC on this one. And then a 5 is 67. So an SGC 5 in a 62 Topps for a Carl Yastrzemski would be a lot more affordable for people. If you're on a $20 a month budget, like you could save up for 3-4 months and buy that card in a 5. And then again, mine is a 7. Its average value right now is $240. But that's just because I bought it ungraded and paid to get it graded. And then I'm sure his 63, which is, again, another great card, would be his fourth year card. I'm sure it's even cheaper. We'll pull that up real quick. Wait, I went to 64. My bad. There we go. Same photo of his 60 as his 64, but it's a 63 is a great looking card. I love that set. I'm a big fan of this smaller picture down here. So a 6 for this is $73, and a 5 in PSA is $44. Then down here, SGC6 is 64, and a 5 is 50. So if you're a big fan of Carl Yastrzemski, or maybe you want to have one card of Carl Yastrzemski in your collection, maybe you're doing something similar again to John 3D80's kid, where you want one card of every Hall of Famer. Like, this is a great one of Carl Yastrzemski that you could add to your collection for $50. So just another great card. So now we'll go to Bob Gibson. And I know from the National that this card's about $1,000 in a 6. So PSA 6, 1,089. PSA 5, right at 800. Or yeah. And then SGC 6, again, right at $1,000. And an SGC 5 is $759. So $760. And then we'll go to the 60 tops. And again, I love this card. I don't have it yet. I really want a Bob Gibson rookie. Well, I owned one for about 45 minutes, and then I worked it into a deal for my Hank Aaron rookie. So there's the 60 tops Bob Gibson that I just showed you guys. So in a 6, it's $156. In a 5, it's $100. SGC 6 is $148, and in a 5, it's $84. And then I have a 7.5. A 7.5 hasn't sold for a long time, but my guess is it's probably in the $500 range now is probably what it's worth, because a 7.5 hasn't sold since March 31st of 2021. So it's been a while. So, and then a PSA 7.5 hasn't sold in quite a while either. So there's really nothing to compare it to, but a 7 is, $277. And that's an air quotes investor grade card that you can get for half the price of his rookie card in a 5. So for me, like, that's a great deal, because that's a great card. Second year Bob Gibson, just amazing. So let's go to 61. So this would be a third year. And again, another great card. So here we have a 6 for $73, a 5 for $54. Like, pretty much every collector on earth can afford that. Like, even if you're a high school kid and you cut grass and make $10 a week, like, you could save up for a few months and buy a really cool card of Bob Gibson early in his career. SGC 6, $65. SGC 5, $42. And I always talk about how undervalued Cardinals all-time greats are. And Bob Gibson's definitely an example of that, in my opinion. So 62 tops might be a little bit different because it's a high number. But again, another awesome looking card. And I love the 62 set. So here a PSA 6 is $728. A PSA 5 is $200. And again, these are a little bit more expensive because it's a high number. And then here's a 6 in SGC for $220. and a 5 for 191. So not a whole lot of spread on those prices on the SGC side of things anyway. There's a little bit more of a spread on the PSA side. But let's check out Mickey Mantle. So we know Mickey Mantle, his rookie card is pretty pricey, to say the least, for a baller on a budget like myself anyway. And really, for me, like in all reality, I will probably never buy this card, because if I'm going to spend that much money for a card, I don't want it to look like hammered dog doo-doo. And like, man, I could save up 2 years or a year and a half and buy a 1. But the odds of that 1 looking nice enough to where I wouldn't think about how much money I spent on that card and how beat up it is, like, I don't know. Like, I don't think I'll ever own a Mickey Mantle rookie. And so we know the 52 tops is really expensive. So keep that, $5,500 or $6,000 range in your mind for an SGC 1 or a PSA 1. And we'll look at a 52 Bowman, which is still not a cheap card. But again, a great looking card. But here you can get a 6 for about the price. You can get a 5 or a 6 for, in the ballpark of what you can get his rookie card for in a 1. Now that's still a lot of money, and I can't afford that. So, like, probably for me, if I were going to buy this card, I would maybe look in the 2.5 range, maybe 3. But for my budget, like, that's a big card. There are a whole lot of rookie cards that I want right now that I don't have in my collection that I would rather spend that money on. But still, you're looking at $2,200 for a 2. But a 1 is $1,600, which is still a lot of money for a 1, and $1,300. But again, the prices are roughly a third or a quarter of what his rookie card is. And then let's look at trying to remember if he has a 53 Bowman. Okay, yeah, there it is. Okay, yeah, that's right. Another amazing card. And this one is still expensive, but again, it's come down a lot in value. Now you can get a 1 for about a tenth of what his rookie card costs. Now, again, it's an expensive card, don't get me wrong, but, if you want an early career Mantle in the, $1,500 to $2,000 range, like, you could get a nice version of this card for in a SGC 4.5 or a 5 for $2,200. Like, that's in the ballpark of what I saved up for the National. Now, again, it's still a lot of money, and this would be his 3rd year card. And then his 54 Bowman is still an awesome card, still not cheap. So Mickey Mantle probably isn't the best example of this experiment, but a 1 is $482. $418. So really, in that $2,000 ballpark, you're looking at 5s and 6s. Well, maybe not a 6, but 5, 5.5 in the $2,000 ballpark. A 5 you can get for $1,900. That's about what a Hank Aaron rookie card is. But still, that's roughly a third of what his rookie card was in a 1. So this is a 4th year. And then if you stretch it out even further into a 5th year, and I'm in Bowman because, you know, the 52 Tops is one of the most expensive cards in the hobby. So that wouldn't be a good example. A 53 Tops is still pretty expensive. It's a lot cheaper than his rookie card, but it's still a pricey card. So really in Tops, you don't really start getting any relief pricing wise until you get to his 55, because if I'm not mistaken, he doesn't have a 54 Tops. But you can get his 55 Bowman in a PSA 5 for $1,300, which again isn't cheap. But depending on what your budget is, you could swing, you know, a 4 or a 5 if you save up for a while, if you have a, you know, a couple $100 a month budget, which again, not everyone does. I'm fortunate to have the budget that I do, but you know, 241 in a 1, if you could find a nice example of a 1, that's not bad. And you're looking at a 4th year Mantle. So let me double check. Again, I don't think he's got a 54 Tops. Yeah, no 54. So really you could go to 55. Or no, wait a minute, he doesn't have a 55 either. He has a 56. So really for Tops, for early career Mantles, it's that anybody could afford within reason. You're looking at 53 or 56 because he doesn't have a 54 or a 55. And you can get a 4 for $2,000, which again isn't a cheap card, but just as you go up in years, the prices come down. You can go up in grade. $2,300 for an SGC 5 is still pricey, but now let's compare a 1 now. So we're at $480 for a 1, $554 for a 1. So again, Mantle might not be the best example because he's expensive anyway. So let's go to Hank Aaron. And we know Hank Aaron's rookie card is not a cheap card. So here in the 5 or 6 range, you'd be looking at $8,000 to $5,000. Like, I'm definitely not paying that. Mine's in a 2, and that works perfectly for me. So here's an SGC 6 is 62. A 5 is 46. So let's look at a 55. If I could spell Hank. And again, a great looking card. The main picture is the same picture of on his rookie card. And I love this other photo over here with him finishing his swing on his follow through. But look at the drop off in price. We looked at 5s and 6s for his rookie card in the $6,000 to $8,000 range, where this, his 2nd year card, is, you know, $600 to $1,000 for a 2nd year card. Like, and it's a great card. And then we look at a 1 or a 2, and you're looking at a couple $100. And you can find nice examples in 2s. Like my Hank Aaron rookie card, I think, is a really nice example in a 2. And then we'll go to 56. So this would be his 3rd year. And I think the white backs or the gray backs are cheaper in this section here that his card is in. So now you're looking at $500 to $650 for a 5 or a 6. SGC 6, SGC 5. SGC 6 is considerably more expensive than a PSA 6 in this card. But it's still a great card. You get 3 Hall of Famers, right? You get Hank Aaron. You've heard the story that this is Willie Mays, and then this umpire, I can't remember what his name is is in the Hall of Fame. So you get 3 Hall of Famers in this Hank Aaron card. So again, a 3rd-year card for, you know, $600, $650. You could go up to why pay $892 for an SGC 6 when you could buy a PSA 6 for $632. And I'm even an SGC guy, but in this card, it makes sense to me to buy a PSA 6 over an SGC. And then we'll go another year for Hank Aaron. We'll go to his 4th year. Another great card. This is a reverse negative because Hank Aaron wasn't left-handed, and they didn't fix it. You can see the 4s are backwards down here, but I love this card. Another card I hope to add soon to my collection. But here we have a 6 in PSA for $619, a 5 in PSA for $454, a 6 in SGC for $561, and then a 5 is $319. So still a great card. If you want an early career Hank Aaron card, like, that's relatively affordable. You could get a nice one in a 3 for $170, a 2 for $144. So I think that most of us would be able to afford that. So I'll flip this back around, stop sharing my screen here, and come back to you. Hopefully I did all this correctly. I'm right at 30 minutes. So again, I hope you get some value from these collecting on a budget types of videos that I do. There are a couple more of these that I want to do. I want to do later career cards as well. And for me, I think if you're looking at Mickey Mantle, that's really your best bang for your buck is the 68 and 69 Mickey Mantles. But I'll dive into that in another video. And I may get into non-Hall of Famers as well. Guys like Rocky Colavito, Dwight Evans, Curt Flood, some of those types of dudes. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up at that. I think I'm at about 40 minutes total on this video with the other with those packs that I opened up. So I will go ahead and wrap it up. So again, I appreciate everyone's support. I'm closing in on 1,300 subs. I would love to hit, 1,500 or so before the summer. So if you're still with me and you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Give this video a like. It would be greatly appreciated. And until the next one, I hope everybody has a good one, and I'll talk to you later.